They said I joke too much, that I don't fit the mold. But last time I checked, I'm the one still bold.
Welcome back to another episode of the Heart and Hustle podcast. I'm your host, Homer Hargrove. In last episode, we talked about breaking out of the almost stage, how to step out of the planning stage into finally executing what you need to do for your business or your marriage, your family. But today, we are going to shift gears and look at this reality check regarding personal, professional survival in the new world of AI. And we're going to be talking about how to make yourself irreplaceable. And I want to start off by sharing a little quick story. I was scrolling the other day, and I'm a part of one Facebook group where it's a group of different pastors. I don't know them. It's just kind of like randos. But recently I saw someone within this group share a post that really took me back, but also didn't feel that surprising. And it was an individual that was on staff at a very large church, and they were distressed. And that was because they asked the group, he realized that almost all of the other pastors on the staff were now using AI to completely write their weekly sermons. Now, he specified and said they aren't using AI to help them edit or to smooth out rough talking points or to cross-reference or research. They are typing a prompt and generating the entire message, downloading it unedited, and walking onto the stage and preaching it straight to their congregation. Now, look, there might be some ethical kickback on this. Right now, there's the cultural debate is whether doing something like this would be ethically or morally right or wrong. And people can be very passionate. I think that people should be a little more strict or passionate about the integrity behind the pulpit. But I want to just, rather than going into the morality of it, I want us to take a different approach, and I want us to strip away the debate of whether something like this is morally good or morally bad. And I want us to strictly look at the hard, cold business of reality of what happens when you do this. Because when you use a tool like this to completely generate your output, that is when you are making yourself explicitly replaceable. I want you to just think about it for a moment. If the machine is writing everything for you, doing the speech, the business proposal, the sermon, if you are simply standing up there to read it word for word, you're just a vessel for what the machine told you to do. You are not an asset. You are not unique. You're not the visionary. You are just a voice actor. You're a placeholder. And any person, whether it's a pastor, a speaker, entrepreneur, who is using a tool like AI to completely do their job, you will be replaced either by someone cheaper who can read the prompts just as well, by technology itself, or by somebody who is able to show that they are not replaceable. To show it's going to be somebody that effectively does it better. Now let's look at the illusion of the shortcut for a moment. See, we're being honest when it comes, especially being in ministry, being a pastor. I've been in ministry now for 15, 16 years, and borrowing content is not something new when it comes to people in ministry. Long before AI, many pastors and speakers were already borrowing sermons from books, from other pastors, from other sermons, subscription sites, well-known speakers. I mean, there's literally websites for ministers, for youth pastors, for pastors, where you pay so much and you're able to download this sermon. And so that's why I don't necessarily want to get in the weeds whether it's morally right or wrong that AI is doing this. It's just an effectively cheaper way to do something that a lot of pastors have already been doing. And a lot of people don't mind copying someone else's work, and they justify it by saying, look, as long as it helps my congregation, I don't care where the words come from. I'm humble enough to be able to just be a vessel. And it sounds like, noble on the outside, that you're just trying to get the best word to your people. That's great. And it sounds like you're prioritizing people over your ego. But the massive hidden flaw in this justification is that when you consistently bypass the friction that's necessary for the learning process, you lose the ability to lead because you're not learning yourself. You might have a great theatrical delivery. You might be able to regurgitate what someone else told you, and you can be charismatic on the stage. But your lack of personal processing will show up in the moments that you step off the stage. The real breakdown happens in the areas where people even try to justify shortcuts like this in the first place. Like a lot of pastors will say, well, I don't mind doing it because I want to spend more time discipling and counseling people. Okay, I can get behind that. A big part of being pastor is not necessarily what I teach on a Sunday. It's the people that I'm building up throughout the week. Right, I can get that logic. But while if you a leader that says, I'm going to let AI generate this content so I can save 10 hours this week, that way I have more time to spend face-to-face discipling, counseling, mentoring, it sounds great. But when you sit down across the table from a human being who is going through something real, something messy, something raw, you won't have any substance to actually feed them. Because you haven't thought through anything yourself. You're not thinking and processing things. You're not learning things. You're only transferring things from an AI to the pulpit. You haven't wrestled with real concepts. You haven't spent time in this quiet part of processing your own failures, your own grit, your own convictions. And if you live on this diet of automated shortcuts, all you can give people under your care are these hand-me-downs of life lessons. And they end up becoming hand-me-downs of life lessons that somebody else talked about at one point, and now you use AI to contrive that into something that fits for you. It's just not sustainable. And in order to truly help someone else navigate a breakthrough, you have to possess real lived experiences in those moments of fire and friction. Showmanship can buy you temporary attention, but only depth can sustain long-term human connection. And that's where we're going to get into this becoming irreplaceable. That's what we want, whether it's for your job or for your business. You want to be able to be irreplaceable. And the core lesson I want us to retain today is when you use AI to take a break, that is precisely when you get replaced. When you're trying to use AI to wow, what usually took me an hour only took me 10 minutes. I'm going to go scroll on my phone for the next 50 minutes since I already did all my work. That is how you get replaced so quickly. But when you use AI to outshine everyone else in your effort and your results, that is when you become irreplaceable. See, the lazy look at technology asks, how can I use this tool to do less work? They want to leave early. They want to check off the box and move on, and they want to coast. They use it to maintain a basic, comfortable status quo. But the indispensable individual looks at the same exact technology and asks, how can this tool allow me to outwork and out-execute everyone around me? How can I use this to shine in the office? They don't use it to escape the grind. They use it to accelerate it. And it's when you use it to clear out the operational noise so that you can focus 100% of your heart, your passion, that tenacity in creating what you feel like would be this masterpiece of your work. You're wanting to just accelerate your work and show that you are indispensable. And I want us to look at this idea of a formula with our current landscape. See, right now, leverage is the sum of human heart, this human heart and tenacity And the way that you're able to get a 10x leverage, sorry for that was kind of salesy jargon, but in order to multiply that leverage, where again, leverage is the human heart and tenacity. But when we times that by AI, we're able to have a multiplied leverage. AI is this multiplier that can scale your distribution. It can format your data. It can structure your ideas at lightning speed. And remember, I went into a whole episode about AI the other day, but when using it as a multiplier, it only works if there is a positive number to multiply. And so if you're only giving times a 1 out of 10 effort, you're going to still not show any results. But when you're still giving 10 effort plus this, you're now 10xing your results. And if that personal input is 0, you bring 0 heart, you bring 0 tenacity, you bring 0 to your desk, then you are 0 timesing AI to still be 0. Again, AI can scale structure, but it cannot scale our efforts, or the work that is behind it. It cannot stimulate your late night sacrifices, your unique business mistakes, the genuine sweat that you put into whatever your craft is. If you try to compete on speed and volume alone, the machine wins. But if your only competitive advantage is this distinct individuality that's fueled by relentless work and this great work ethic, and then you multiply that by AI, you're going to have just this amazing growth. So when it comes to trying to have some actionable steps to ensure that you're using technology to catapult your efforts forward instead of just automating your way into being obsolete, you need to look at some guardrails to your work. You want to audit your role and identify what requires emotional resonance, human connection, raw human creative insight. This is what you would want to make like the sacred zones, where you are, if you're like in our story today, if you are a speaker, you want to have a core message. If you're an entrepreneur, it's your core brand, or your brand philosophy, it's client relationships. You want AI to be banned from that originating zone, but you do want it to use. You want it to help in heavy lifting. You could use it to help think when you're wrestling with thoughts and doing things like that. But you're not just typing in a prompt for, here, you do this for me so I can go play video games. The other things that we want to do is, AI does not, it is not your life history. It does not have history to it. You do. And if you're not having these lived experiences, you're not going to be able to have real world stories to be able to grow your business. I mean, businesses that grow, it's not just because they found the perfect equation. Most of the time, when you listen to these rags to riches business stories, it's oftentimes an entrepreneur that was relentless against the friction, and it's what made it special, not the systems that were in place. And so do not neglect having these lived experiences, but double down on them and understand that these lived experiences is helping me to get better. Even if but I can use AI to move through these lived experiences, but I'm not trying to obsolete myself from it. And finally, use AI for friction, not to run away. An irreplaceable person uses technology to clear the runway, never to avoid the flight. Let AI handle administrative drags that drain your energy. Let it summarize that whiteboard, the meeting notes. Let it run the math for your financial projections, or handle basic scheduling templates. Use that saved time, though, to exclusively inject deeper quality and that harder work ethic, to be able to really make that that energy to be multiplied instead of taking an extra long break. As we close today, I want to leave you with this direct challenge to stop looking for the shortcut. Stop looking to try to retire early. It's a trick. It's not real. That if you're trying to use AI or anything for that matter to escape from work, then you're missing the whole point. If a tool allows you to perform your entire job with zero thought, zero effort, it means anyone can take that from you and use the same tool, and you'll be replaced tomorrow. Effortlessness is a trap. We want to redefine what it means to succeed within this automated world. And the goal isn't to just see how quiet we can make our days. The goal is to see how impactful we can make our work. To take your natural tenacity and bring your full heart into the workplace, put in a real grind, and when the rest of the world is using technology to become lazy, that is your golden opportunity to run absolute circles around others. You can let them automate their voices into the background while you use technology to as this rocket booster for what your goals are, what is distinct and authentic in your mind, in your heart, and you will become irreplaceable like that. But you have to run away and avoid this idea of using AI to become lazy. With all that being said, I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope that made a difference in your life. Until next time, have a great life.
Then tell me why you still watch every move I take. You call me phony, nah, I'm just free. And if you still doubt me, go by my book. Yeah.